All right, and welcome back to, this is week number 9, I think. Oh my gosh, we're almost done with 10 full weeks of doing art together, and that has just been so fun, such a joy to be able to share all these different art pieces. And I'm really excited about this one because I love being able to do abstracts. I love being able to use different materials to do that. And so today, no brushes, throw away the, well, don't throw them away, set them aside, and get out some cardboard. I like to be able to always kind of keep some pieces of cardboard. We're looking for a nice flat edge, so sometimes the flaps off of the cardboard box is what I'll cut off and make sure that I have. So I'll need maybe about 3, maybe 4, depending about how many other colors. The thing, you have to have so many different ones, is if we switch colors, you can't really take the color off the cardboard. So if you're switching in color and don't want them to mix, you need to switch to another piece of cardboard. We're also going to use a cup. I've got a plastic cup, paper cup will be fine. We just need it to where we're going to use the edge, the rim of the cup, and be able to dip it in some paint and to get the circle. So this is an abstract. I've got a larger version of it right here, as you can see. We're going to be pulling colors and we're going to be doing some different lines. I've done a smaller version, which today I'll also demonstrate. So one of the things with abstract is that it really does more invoke emotion. We're using color just to kind of bring some movement, right? But one of the things we're going to be paying attention to is that we are still going to make sure that we're being very linear with this. So we're going to make sure that our lines, even as we're pulling, they're either going straight across or straight up and down. That's going to give us kind of this structured look that a lot of people don't realize is intentional, right? So we're going to be intentional with how those are being pulled. You can see in different ways, but it doesn't matter where the color is placed. Here I've got red, there I've got in that section. So we're going to have a little bit of choice where things are. You may have to feel how your paint is going, but that's what we're going to do. So you know what, this big one's kind of, I'm glad to show you this one. Big's taking up too much room. I'll put him over here and we'll have the smaller one as our example. All right. Let's see here. Okay, so we're going to need our plate for paint. We do not need a cup of water because, again, you can't rinse off the cardboard. But let's go ahead and pull out our colors. I also like when I put out the colors, since we're going to be using cardboard, I'll do more of a line of paint instead of a blob because it's harder to kind of pull that. So I will go ahead and get some red out. Like I said, I'm going to do like a line of paint like that. Not a ton, but we still will pull this. Actually, you do end up using a little more paint with this style because we're kind of pulling it and scraping it. Maybe I'll go ahead and pull out some yellow, a little line yellow. It starts to almost look like an art piece on our plate, honestly. Get some blue out, and I'm leaving some space beside them, so I've got room to get to them as I need to. And then I'll go ahead and do white. I don't think we end up using any black in this, so we're just going to use our 3 primary colors: red, yellow, blue, and some white. So there are my 4 colors, giving me space to be able to grab color as I need to with the cardboard. All right, so now that we have our paints, we're going to go ahead and grab a piece of cardboard. I'm going to grab this piece. You can see I've already used this for another painting. That would be fine because this is dry. It won't have any effect. Once acrylic paint is dry, it is more permanent than other mediums like watercolor. So honestly, I could even just use this side right here. So I am going to pull red. I'd like red to have a good placement here. So I'm going to, when I say pull, we go grab it on the edge of the cardboard all the way down. You can kind of see how it kind of builds up. Again, you're seeing some of the dry paint right there as well. So I'm going to grab some red right there. Okay, so I've got it kind of built up. And then just like we're icing a cake, I'm going to scrape, but kind of make sure I'm not scraping it all off. I'm just going to kind of pull. And again, we're going to do more of a straight across or straight up and down. I think today I'm going to do my red on this side right here. So maybe I'll come right to the center, touch the cardboard down, and then I'm going to start pulling that towards me. Now it's not covering all the way. It's sometimes it's okay, because I think I might let more colors blend there. I think while I still have red, maybe I'll grab a little yellow on the cardboard. And maybe this time I'll do the streak of yellow with the red right there, and then maybe a little bit up. So this is where I really want you to start seeing how you're moving the paint, how it's reacting. You know, maybe that became too red for you and you want to go back over top of it with some of the yellow. Maybe I'll do a streak of yellow going straight up. It is, I promise, every time I've done this style of painting, it is never the same. Cardboard is a little more difficult to control where the paint's going, so this is why it's great for abstract if we're trying to loosen up a little bit, that we're trying not to completely control everything like we did with our brushes. So maybe I'm going to leave that there for right now, and I want to put down this cardboard and pick up a new one, because I think I want to do some blue. I think I'm going to grab some blue right now. I think I'm going to do some blue and maybe a little yellow. It looks like I grabbed accidentally a little, no, a little white, but it looks like I grabbed a little yellow in the corner, so I may end up with a streak of green. That'll be fine. Maybe I'll start here, kind of lining up with the red. I'm going to just streak up this time, maybe. Now, the more, I will say, the more that you keep streaking and pulling the paint, the more it will blend. So if you'd like to keep it more streaky, where you don't see all the colors blending together, then you don't. But if you keep going like this, let's see, I keep going and going and going and going and going. That's fine, but it's just gonna start looking more solid instead of where the colors are still kind of separate a little bit. So that's just something to keep in mind. But if you're going for a certain color, that you really want it to look that way, then that's what you can do. This time I've grabbed some yellow with the blue, and I'm going to kind of overlap it a little bit. Ooh, there we go, getting some green. Now, since my red is still pretty wet, I know that if I were to overlap this green with the red right now, they would probably mix and not be great. So even if I overlap a little bit, I'm going to be very gentle, so I'm more laying it on top instead of mixing it, because maybe I don't want that color like that. Ooh, that turned into a dark green right there. I like that. And this is also still just our first layer. We're going to go back in. As you can see, we're kind of doing some blocking of colors. Maybe I bring some green over here this time, so it's not just a square and square. Maybe that green is traveling. Maybe more yellow with this green. Maybe make it lighter up here. Ooh, I really like that. See, it's not fully planned. That's the great thing about this type of painting. It is seeing how the colors are going. This piece of cardboard seems to have some ridges on it, so I'm getting these lines. That's cool. I wasn't expecting that, so that is okay. And maybe I really grab some white, maybe get some white, some lighter color up here in the corner. Basically, we're just trying to cover all the white spots of the canvas right now. Maybe I do a little line. Look, I broke it up so it doesn't look like it was so square on that, with a little bit of white. Ooh, okay. I always love adding pops of white, honestly. That is something that always makes it look good. Now, I've got blue, yellow, kind of more green and white on this one, but I'd like to go back over my red at this point. So I think I'm going to switch to the other cardboard I had. And maybe this time I'll grab white. Now, I want to show you how I've been grabbing. You can see I tried to keep one side maybe a little more clean. This has got a lot more blue and stuff on this white. So maybe this white that's closer to the red, if I grab it on this side, it's not going to have as much mixing. Maybe some red and some white this time. And maybe I'll do maybe just a streak starting from the corner here and see what that looks like. Woo! See, I don't know if I'm truly teaching as much as just playing with you, which is one of my favorite parts about painting. So I'm just looking now. Okay, so as I'm looking, and what I can tell you to look at, if you look and you see a big block of color you maybe feels too solid, like maybe that blue, that looks, I like it, but maybe it needs something to help break it up. Maybe, maybe this is when I grab my other cardboard with a little more white. Maybe I do a little, I come here and I streak up. And again, I'm still doing, as you can see, I'm either doing up and down or side to side the whole time. But maybe I start here and I streak some up and kind of add a little line of white right there. You know, maybe a little bit right there. I always love seeing the results of your paintings too versus mine, because this has got so much freedom and what you're feeling that I don't know what yours is going to turn out. I don't even know what mine's going to turn out like. Okay. So as you can see, by putting a little bit of white and kind of streaking it in different places, that is starting to look really cool. Now I'm going to show you something else that we can add to this. This is where we're going to add some linear lines. And what's really fun is by adding these lines, kind of adding some more structure to this, but doing it in a contrasting color of what is there, they'll really pop. So if on the red, I go in with a dark blue line, those two colors are really going to stand out from each other, right? Or if I do red in the blue area, right? So what I'm going to do now, I've got kind of more of a longer one, so I can make more like a long line. I'm going to take that cardboard, try to dip it all the way. It's so long, it's having trouble. Here we go, maybe I have to turn it. Yeah, I can just turn it over. So I've got a line of paint. I'm trying not to do too much because I don't want it to glob. Okay, so I've got a line of paint right there, right? And maybe kind of rubbing off any globs. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to look, kind of line it up and just press it down, kind of wiggle it a little bit, and then pull it off. And I've made a line, which is really nice and easy. If you're trying to make a nice straight line and you're using straight cardboard, there you go. So maybe, so I've got that line right here, and maybe I do an intersecting one kind of right here. I kind of touch that, wiggle a little bit, pull it off, and I've got that line. So you can see, now you can start looking at, well, where could be a good place to bring in a contrasting color, something that's going to break up. Again, we're trying to break up some of the colors. And again, if you want to switch to another color, this is why I have a separate flap, another one to change. So maybe this is where I want to do red. So maybe I'll go with some red this time. Well, I'm gonna get it all in there. And then maybe I'll touch it down in here. Now I'm trying to do it more straight. So here we go. Here we go. Yes, look at that. I love how that red just kind of took it all the way in that direction. Maybe I'll do one this way. And you can always have it where they don't even have to touch. They can maybe float a little bit. Maybe I'll do another one that's just kind of floating here. So as you can see, we're kind of just building some of these geometric structured shapes, the layers of paint and stuff. And then the last thing that's very easy to do. So again, this is you having your chance to figure out where you want it. Maybe I do one more right there. Oh, I didn't have enough paint on there. Oops. Or I have to dip again. Dip, dip, dip. And then very easy just to go ahead and touch it. If there wasn't enough paint, you can just go back and add it again. There we go. And the last thing, see, I told you this painting was going to be really fast, really easy. The last thing that we're going to do is we're going to take a cup, just a plastic cup, and we're going to roll the rim in. I feel like white is the best one that really pops. So I'm just going to take that and I'm just rolling it in here. Now, if you choose you want to do another color, that is absolutely fine. And honestly, my white has got so much blue in it, it may become more of a marbled one, but I'm just rolling it so that there is, and of course you could always put out more paint. I'm going to try and see if I can sneak and just use the paint I've got. So I'm just looking to make sure that the whole surface, I will say it is harder to go back over a circle once you've stamped it, if it doesn't be complete. So this is a chance to really do this, but I'm trying not to get too many big globs. Okay, so you can see it's basically white on the rim. And I think today, the place that I see that needs that circle is right here. So I'm just going to press down with that, lift it straight up. As you can see, I did have a little part that was missing. That was really hard to see, but I kind of like it. I'm going to go with it. Sometimes that's the part of this abstract that I like. I also like, so I'm working with an 8x10 canvas, so really I don't have a lot of room to do really 2 full circles. So sometimes I like to do a half circle, which is great. It gives the audience the suggestion that really there's more painting that we're just not showing them. So I'm going to maybe come to this corner this time, and I'm going to let the cup hang off and just stamp part of the circle right there. And really, you can do more circles. I think for the size of my canvas, I think 2 circles is just about right. Again, if you want to go back in, you can even turn, so I had this very long cardboard. If you want to turn it and you want to do maybe some smaller little lines. Maybe I'll do some yellow this time. Let's see, I could go through, that's where you just have to look. Maybe I can add a yellow one right there. Ooh, that's kind of neat. So there's no full rules. These are more just guidelines to help you kind of express, place some color, doing this all without a brush, which I think is always so fun, so fun. And I really, look at me, I'm gonna keep playing. No, I'm going to finish up and say that I will see you here next time for our last class, and I can't wait to see how your abstracts turned out.